What's up, you filthy fight fans? Welcome back to the show. It's me, Jason Filthy Jones, bringing you another fight talk, talking about the craziness that's going on in the MMA world right now with all the controversy, stuff being talked about, refs, judges, just fights in general. There's a lot going on. It's the beginning of the year. There's always mistakes with all kinds of stuff. Right now, just to give you guys a little basis of what's going on with me, I do these shows. I'm also working on a couple other shows, and I'm trying to get my Let's Get Geeked Up all worked out. But I am also a photographer, so I do other gigs and doing photo shoots with different models, products, all kinds of stuff. Right now, trying to get stuff figured out for the rest of the year with spring and summer as we open up. I'm getting calls for weddings and all kinds of stuff. But I'm pretty sure you guys aren't here to hear about that. Just giving you guys a basis of what the craziness that's moving on in the world today. So let's jump into this fight talk and let's get to this recap. Now, first off, I got to talk about it sucked. We missed out on the Ben Rosenberger and the Felipe Elias fight. Hopefully they'll rebook it. I think Ben might have ended up with COVID. Not sure, but hopefully they will be booking that fight somewhere down the line. Other than that, we did not miss out on Dan 50K Ige. Good God Almighty. Not much to say about this fight, but I have to admit to you guys, Gavin Tucker is not a slouch. He is a really phenomenal striker. Did not get to show it. 22-second knockout. Dan Ige takes it out and gets that 50K bonus like always. Shouts out to him. Congratulations. He's expecting a new baby anytime now. So props out to Dan Ige. Can't wait to see how it goes off for him. And hopefully Gavin Tucker will be able to bounce back and we'll see where he'll go with that. Other than that, guys, the other fight I got to talk about is the Misa Serganov and Ryan Spann fight. Did not go the way I thought it would go. I thought Misa would be able to get Spann to the floor and be able to get some ground and pound or maybe a submission. But got to give it up to Ryan Spann. Comes back with a stellar knockout. Now, we'll be seeing where he'll be moving down the line. I think he was talking about the Jimmy Crute and Anthony Smith fight. I mean, that's coming up soon. We'll see how that goes. And he's talking about getting the winner of that. Wouldn't mind seeing him and Anthony Smith go at it. Or even, that wouldn't be a bad matchup for him. The Jimmy Crute fight with him too. I'm just thinking that Ryan wants to move a little bit further up in the ranking. He's trying to get to that title shot. And we all remember he got put out by Johnny Walker. Mistake on basically Ryan's kind of fault because he wasn't fighting the typical style of fight that he was normally used to. And he was pushing the pace and rushing in that fight and ended up getting taken out. But we're not here to talk about that one. We're here to talk about the fight that went down with him. And I still see a lot of holes for Ryan. Hopefully he can cinch it up and tighten it up. He's pretty much going off of instinct in the cage, not really sticking to his strategy and plans from his coaches, but he is able to pull it off all the time. He does have some knockout power. He's not a slouch on the floor. He's a pretty good, well-rounded, all-round fighter. But we'll see how it goes for him, see where he goes next with this. Hopefully he does get that matchup, but he was looking nice. Now for Misha, we'll see how it goes for him. He's going to probably drop a couple of spots. There could be a good matchup coming up for him in the next couple of weeks, though, because we do have some fights lining up still. I think we got Dominic Reyes and Yuri going down on that. My bad. My dog doesn't seem to like Dominic Reyes. No, we have Dominic Reyes and Yuri coming up in the next couple of weeks too. So we'll see. There's going to be some opening ups. Light heavyweights looking really nice, especially with Jan being up there at the top and no holdups in the division. We understand that the Jan and Glover will be matching up. So we're going to see some movement in that division very quickly. Now, getting to the main event, and I'm going to combine this main event with talking about this last week's fight, 259, and also the same fight on this card. That was the Eric Anders and Darren Stewart fight. Sucks for Belal, sucks for Leon. Where do we go from here? Not really sure, guys. Do you guys really think that Dana and them are going to give Leon a title shot after this? I don't think so. It sucks. But Leon did look really good, was really fast, showed that doesn't seem that ring rust is even bothering him or anything about it. He seems to be moving really well, was able to land a lot of good shots on Belal. But once again, it was the beginning of the first round. And we're not really sure, was able to get that head kick and everything. And then we were moving into the second round. And beginning of the second round, when Leon went to go throw that head kick by shadowing it with the left hand, ended up jamming Belal in the eye. Now, we've been dealing with a lot of controversy in the last 2 weeks. A lot of people are saying that there's too much control to the judges. A lot of people are saying there's too much control to the refs and too much control with the doctor and everything. But I mean, it's basically just the way they handle with sports. It's hard to deal with. Some things don't go always correctly. Now, my biggest thing is taken away from all this is the decision of no contest and or giving somebody a win and stuff like that seems very confusing. And also, I've been listening to a ton of different podcasts and watching a ton of different reports. Seems like not a lot of people, even coaches, fighters, and even some of the commentators don't really know what's going on with the rules because the rules don't seem to be matching up. And I have to say there's always this super gray area because understanding what kind of rules they're following and what style of rules they're following, because it can change from state to state. Not really big rule changes, but like the knee to a down opponent. Eye pokes, of course, never change. You're not supposed to do them, but it's becoming a recurring situation in the last couple of weeks. Now, getting back to talking about Belal and Leon, I hope they probably run it back, but I don't see it happening because it's not really a big point for Leon to fight Belal again. I mean, come on, guys. We all understand Belal was getting at his chance. It was his first main event and everything. I give it up to him. He's a very hard fighter. I think he'll bounce back very well from this, and he'll be able to come back, and hopefully he'll be getting a shot at somebody in the top 10. But he was sitting at number 13. We are talking about Leon Edwards. He's sitting at number 3. Now, a fight I wouldn't mind seeing and I think could be booked is, I mean, they're saying if Leon's not going to get the title shot, you hear Stephen Wonderboy Thompson talking about, like, let him get the title shot. Now, I do like that shot for Wonderboy Thompson because Kamaru is somebody fresh who is been holding the title for a while. It's a real fresh matchup for Kamaru Usman. Now, there is a lot of intrigue also with Leon Edwards fighting Kamaru Usman, and that's because we all know that they fought before, but they're completely different fighters. I would like to see where that matchup could end up now. But if that doesn't get matched up, I wouldn't mind seeing the Wonderboy Thompson and basically Leon Edwards fight. Very technical fight. Would like to see how Leon handles that situation. Wouldn't be an easy fight for Wonderboy either. Leon's super fast, has a lot of power, is able to get his kicks off very quickly, and it looks like his wrestling's really improved. Now, where do we go from here with that? Not sure. We'll have to see what they're going to do with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to give Leon a title shot off of that. Now, jumping back to the point that I was talking about with all the controversy in the last couple of weeks. Now, coming on to this fight, we had Eric Anders and Darren Strauss. Was a good fight, was turning out to be a dominant fight from Darren Strauss until halfway through the round. Next thing we know, Eric Anders was able to catch Darren Strauss and was able to put it on him and putting him up against the cage and was just bombarding him with different shots, knees, punches to the head, punches to the body, bringing the knees to the body, and also using his elbows and trying to also mix in takedowns. He was trying to be an all-round fighter, trying to put Strauss down to the floor. Now, the problem here is just the same thing that I just recently said. I think it's always going to be a very gray area with these knees. The reason saying that is because just the back and forth changing of the rules when you go state for state. And I get it, guys. We've been sitting in a pandemic. It's been pretty much either Fight Island or Vegas. But just like that, when they moved to Fight Island, the actual rules change. It's not the same thing as Vegas. So when you think about it, especially when these guys are training in different states, the rule is a very strange rule because people don't know what's going to be accurate for a down opponent. It could be hands down. It could be hands up. It could be if they're completely on the ground. Now, I'm not trying to give excuse to Eric Anders, but basically, he was caught up in the moment, was just firing shots. You guys saw that he was firing knees in against the cage anyways, and it was going continuously. He was using his knees as a different weapon each time. Now, you even hear in the commentary where they're like, ooh, they need to watch those knees, because the changing and elevation of each time on that cage, you never can actually always see if the person's hands down or not. So you're just going after it, and you're hoping at the same time, once they move their hand up, that they're able to be not a downed opponent. Now, my issue with this is the way the call ended. It ended up being a no contest, even though they kept announcing no decision. It's ended up being a no contest. Now, it comes from this is, how does the rules work? I've been hearing a lot that the rules work as if you're past, I think, the third round. I want to say once you're past the third round, then we go to the cards, and that's how basically the fighters can end up winning a decision from a legal blow, a legal blow, from an illegal blow. So that's how they can end up winning the competition, from an illegal blow. Now, what do you guys feel should be done? Should the rules be being looked at? Should the ref have more control? Should the doctors have more control? Should it be on the fighter? Now, if you put a fighter in that situation, you're talking about a fighter that can be in a rock situation where he's not all there, trying to make a decision if he should continue on fighting or if he should stop fighting. Wouldn't want to put a fighter in that, basically in that kind of decision, because 90% of the time you're going to have a fighter say that they will continue on, and that is because a lot of fighters wear their hearts on their sleeve. Now, my question to you guys is this: where do you guys feel the rules should be looked at? Should it be looked at the rules, or should we be looking at the refs, or should we be looking at the doctors to make a different decision, or should we be looking at the fighters' corners? Should the corners be making more decisions for the fighters during the fight? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments, and let's get a discussion. I would like to hear from a lot of you guys. If you guys give me a chance, just go ahead and hit me up in the email and let me know, so we can talk about this a little bit more on air, because I would like to hear from your guys' point of view. That being said, guys, I want to talk about the other situations of a lot of the other controversies that's been going on. We have to return back to 259, where we were talking about Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan. There's been a lot of discrepancies with the way people are handling the situation, and technically, I'm not even really happy with the way Aljo's been handling the situation. But at the same time, we have to look at it was a business decision. Now, if you guys even listen to a lot of the podcasts and a lot of the shows that he's been on recently, he's even said that he was laying there thinking the whole time, will he get a rematch? Will he even get back at the title shot? He'll probably be knocked down in the rankings. He's probably going to have to do 3 fights. These are things that every single fighter that's in that cage, even fighters on the local regional scene, these are kind of moves that people are moving and trying to make do, because a couple of fights, you might not ever even get back to a title fight. Now, was it a wrong decision? I don't really think so. He gets a rematch. He is going to get the champion perks. He's going to get all that. But that's all things for his life. All I care about right now really is the movement of the division, and hopefully that it moves on. I do want to see him and Peter go back at it. I would give Peter Yan a bigger advantage in the fight now after seeing that fight. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the background with Aljamain Sterling right now that pretty much it's just a craziness, and I'll be talking about more of that in basically the fight news. But what I'm saying here, guys, there has to be a decision with all these rulings and this jumping around and everything, because I see that a lot of people are more irritated and mad about Aljo getting basically the title for a disqualification. And I get it. That's just the way the rules are written out. That's why I want to hear from your guys' point of view. What do you guys think should be looked at with these rules? I'm asking you guys again. Hit me up in the email. Hit me up on my Facebook, hit me up in my IG, hit me up on the YouTube comments. Let me know, what do you guys feel should be done with these rules? Because it seems like things aren't being handled, and there should be things that need to be changed in the rule set. To me, honestly, after the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to think maybe knees do need to be added in. I know that John McCarthy's been saying a lot about how he never thinks that knees will be added in for a downed opponent, because the athletic commission and also the fight promotion could be really hurt by this, by going to court if a a fighter somehow gets injured and he gets a lawyer that will take the case to take him to court, it can end up destroying the sport. So probably never going to see it, but I still want to hear what your guys' ideas are. Let's see what you guys can come up with. Other than that, let's get to this fight night of Brunson versus Holland. Now, guys, I'm not going to be going completely over this card like always, and that is because this is one of those cards that's just a movement card. It's basically trying to see who's going to be the next bantamweights in the top 15 of the division. Now, don't miss out on the card, though. There are some really decent fighters on there. We got Max Griffin, and also for all my Pacific Northwesters and all my hometown heroes of Wapato that know, Gustavo Lopez will be on this card, and I can't wait to see how he does in this matchup. I think he's going to be able to get a knockout in this one, and he'll be moving up in that division, and hopefully he'll be getting into that top 10 soon. Good luck to you, Gustavo. Can't wait to see how you do in this one. Now, with that being said, at the top of the card, we got Gregor Gillespie and Brad Riddell from the lightweight division for the co-main event. Then at the main event, we have Kevin Holland and Derek Brunson. Now, first off, with this co-main event, I gotta be going with Gregor Gillespie. He is a vicious cardio fighter, will ragdoll you all around the freaking cage, and loves to put you down and get you into basically ground and pound you till you cannot recognize what is going on in the damn cage. Now, don't get me wrong, Brad Riddell is no slouch either. He has some heavy hands, is a quick boxer, loves to throw his kicks in too, and will always like to keep it on the feet, but does have a wrestling background and is usually not too hard to get back to his feet. Now, how do I see it going out? I just see Gregor Gillespie ragdolling him and pretty much pushing him to the pace and either eking out a decision or getting that TKO probably in the second round. Now, moving on to the main event, I've been waiting for this fight for a very long time. I think Kevin Holland is a very underrated fighter. I think Derek Brunson is basically making a comeback right now. He's switched up his camps. He's now at Stafford MMA under the tutelage of Henry Hoof for his kickboxing. I would like to see what Derek Brunson is going to be able to do with this one, if he's going to be able to keep his composure and keep it on the feet and be able to throw decent shots. Now, we all understand that also Derek Brunson is a very vicious wrestler, but Kevin Holland is no slouch on the floor. He has a really good jiu-jitsu ground game, but I don't think he wants to end up with Brunson on top of him. I do see this ending up being a stand-up matchup, though, and I see Kevin Holland being able to lay Brunson out probably second or third round. We'll see how it goes. With that, all I got is a little bit of stuff for fight news, and it's a little bit of fight announcements. Basically, the first one that's I want to talk about, it would have to be the Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas. I can't wait for that. Thug Rose and Zhang Weili is going to be a great matchup. Can't wait to see when that goes down. Then we also have the other matches that are going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have Brian Ortega versus Alexander Volkanovski. We have Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic. We also have a new fight that just got booked, which is going to be Tony Ferguson versus Beneil Dariush, and we also are getting talks about RDA versus Islam Makhachev. Can't wait for those fights. That's pretty much all I got for fight announcements. The little bit of fight news I do have is some stuff about Aljamain Sterling, and not really liking where shit's going for him right now. And the reason I'm saying it this way is because there has been a lot of hiccups with his corner and all that. If you guys haven't heard, Matt Serra has now retired from being a cornerman because of issues that happened all the way leading up to the title fight that happened just last week, and which ended up happening where Matt Serra was not going to be part of Aljo's corner. Now, I'm not saying that's a big thing for Matt Serra. I'm saying more for Aljo. There's a lot of just a lot of stuff going on in your head when stuff like that ends up happening. So I'm wondering how the next matchup is going to go with Peter Yan. It's making me starting to rethink my decision on the fighter, because if he's having a lot of mental anguish, I don't think how he's going to be able to concentrate on the fight. We'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully that gets hashed out. And with that, guys, that's all I really got for you guys this week. I know it's a short one. I will make it up to you guys next time, but if this is your first time here, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also, do me a favor, mash that like button so we can beat this YouTube algorithm. And click the bell so you guys know when the next episode drops. And you guys can also check out my Let's Get Geeked. Like always, guys, if nobody loves you, I love you. I am Jason Filthy Jones, bringing you the dirtiest information with the cleanest style. Peace.